The number one comment I usually get is, "Oh, wow, it's so nice your dad named the company after you." No, I named the company after myself. Great brand. Yes, they're approved franchisees. Guess what, guys? You need to bring in additional guarantors because the credit is not to our standard. You don't have to be the smartest person in the room. You don't have to be the most knowledgeable or have the most experience. You truly just have to answer the phone, talk to people. And if you don't know how to help them, partner up with someone who will know how to help them.
From the investor's side, talking about creditworthiness or having a credit tenant, how does that play into the investor's mindset? A lot of new investors probably don't even think about the creditworthiness of the tenants. They think occupancy and rent.
There's so much that goes into it. And even if, I'm sure you've dealt with this too, even if they're a franchisee and they've been approved by the franchisor, sometimes some franchisors' financial requirements are not going to be as high as the landlord's. And so there's been many times I'm like, great brand. Yes, they're approved franchisees. Guess what, guys? You need to bring in additional guarantors because the credit is not to our standard. And every landlord has a different standard. And that's why as brokers, you need to ask right away, hey, send us your lease application. We want to start reviewing it right away because every landlord is different. And going back to Colliers, our landlords were institutional. So I started with a very high standard. And so going into me as a landlord on the development side, working on several development projects now that I will be a landlord in, I have pretty high standards, but that varies across the board with every investor.
And with some of your exposure in the brokerage world and having been not only working as a broker for institutional developers, actually being one and seeing the inside track on everything, what are some of the key things that you think the mom and pop investors or the first time investors or maybe people that have a couple of properties are missing that they could probably fairly easily add to the set of requirements or set of documents that they're looking at either during due diligence or when they're reviewing a lease?
I think a lot of these mom and pop investors, they're missing something as simple as pulling credit checks on all of the owners in the business. I hate to say it, more and more I'm seeing not even adding a guarantee, which to me is wild. I think you absolutely have to have that, especially because if they're starting a new business, it's probably a new entity signing the lease, a new LLC that doesn't have any assets. I always tell new tenants I'm working with to qualify you, most landlords are going to ask for the same amount of information you would to buy a home, right? Tax returns, credit check, your business plan, even more than buying a home because you have to provide your business plan. And how are you going to pay for this business? So it usually takes a business, what do we usually say, up to a year to really start making a profit. So how are you going to build out the space, open for business, hire employees, pay those employees, pay your rent for a year before you start really making money? And that's what I'm teaching our agents today at eXp Commercial. I'm like, are you asking the right questions to qualify all these tenants or buyers you're working with? Because we don't work for free. And that's a common misconception. And our time is valuable as well as agents. So you need to be qualifying all of these people you're working with. And honestly, if you're not, you're doing them a disservice because you're getting their hopes up that they're going to be able to get approved at any place around town. And you're wasting everyone's time at that point. They need an expert, which is what we are, to tell them, hey, have you thought about this and how you're going to pay for everything to successfully open your business?
And I think that's one of the things people miss, the time wasting aspect of it is I think it's created a little bit of a culture inside of the industry of where it's cliquey, that I had to help get people to answer the phone. And that when I have new agents coming into eXp Commercial, because I already have established relationships, I can call some people, I can text some people and get a response. And they know that I'm not going to waste their time. A lot of times I have to tell the new agents, hey, you have to do the qualification because I'm not going to waste my reputation on an unqualified client.
Absolutely. It's saving not just your client's time, your time, it's saving the agent on the other side's time, the landlord on the other side's time. That's why, and again, we're here to make money, right? That's what all of us are here to do. So we have to make sure we're qualifying these tenants, any clients we work with.
Yeah. And so that's the retail investor side. You've worked on the institutional side, you've worked with smaller investors, and those are much more like active, those are active roles that people are taking, active management. But on your development business, you have, I'm assuming, some passive investors that you work with as well. Can you explain either how you come about getting investors or some of the projects that you're currently working on?
Yeah. So outside of EXP, I also own a construction company called Build It Brit, and that's part of my brand. I really want to empower women in construction, commercial real estate, development, which are all very male-dominated fields. And last year, we also started Build It Properties, which is our development portion. And under our logo, it says investment, development, construction. Because construction really is just a small portion of that. And so absolutely how we're getting these investors, truly, I've never paid for any marketing in my 17 years of doing this. It's all been relationship-based, networking, talking to anyone and everyone I can. I personally make it a goal to go to 3 networking events a week, whether that's CCIM, ICSC events, but also just taking people out to lunch, coffee, having conversations. And I work from home, so I have to force myself to get out of there. I'm not in an office with people every day. I talk to many people every day, but to get that human element, and those are the conversations where it leads to, oh, hey, have you met this person? They're looking for this. And guess what? You may have a property that works for that. And that's not something you're just going to get by looking online, looking on CoStar, LoopNet. This is a relationship-based business, and that's how I'm finding people, is truly just anytime anyone wants to introduce me to anyone, of course you have to say yes. Who knows if it's not a worthwhile connection right now, it could be in the future as long as you cultivate that relationship.
Yeah, one of my current partners is always texting me and saying, hey, I met this guy, can I introduce you? And my answer is, of course, yes. I have no idea who the person is, like where it's going to lead. But I trust that if he thought that they're worth the introduction, that I should take it. Yeah. Because who knows? Like I actually met that partner at a networking event, and we hit it off and started talking about all the things that we wanted to do, and we're very aligned, and ended up now partners for a little over 2 years. Mm-hmm. So
that's great.
You just don't know where the opportunities are going to come from. But you should be taking those introductions and then figuring out, is it someone that you actually want to work with, right? Mm-hmm. And from your side of things, with all the exposure that you've had at all the different facets of the business, how do you think people are earning trust? How do you think that people are burning trust? What are the things that people should be on the lookout for?
I think that if anyone says they're going to do something for you, even if that's send an email, make a call, make an introduction, they need to follow through on it. That's how you build trust. If you in this business say you're going to do something for someone, make sure you do it. Maybe you get busy and you're delayed, let them know you're delayed, but actually do it. And also answer your phone, right? So I think that's how you build trust here. You don't have to be the smartest person in the room. You don't have to be the most knowledgeable or have the most experience. You truly just have to answer the phone, talk to people. And if you don't know how to help them, partner up with someone who will know how to help them. As I tell our agents, it's always better to split the commission and get the deal done than not get the deal done at all. And be open to all opportunities.
Yeah, and I think one of the best things that you can tell people is, I don't know, let me get back to you.
I always say that too, even this many years in. And it's the truth. Because
you can't, it's impossible to know everything or to have an opinion on everything. And you need to be relying on all of the different resources that you have. And that I think also builds trust when you are able to be honest with the people and tell them, look, I don't know the answer to that particular question, but I'll get back to you. I had an attorney 2 days ago telling me that same thing. He said, look, I think this is what it is, but don't write it down yet.
Yeah, I like that.
I'm going to go look into it. I'm going to dig in and I'll get back to you.
Yeah.
And I said, well, that's good to know. I needed to know if I was on the right track at all. And so I'll keep working on it until you get back to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you have a couple of projects going on. I think they're probably all in the Tampa area. Yeah. Are they all residential? Are they all commercial? What is Build It Brit currently doing?
Yeah, great question. Build It Brit is my construction company, and I have an amazing team that runs the day-to-day operations of that. But my goal is to help clients through the entire life cycle. So if I lease them a space at eXp Commercial, I can send them over to Build It Brit, and we can build out that space for them. We mainly specialize in retail or really any type of tenant build outs of existing buildings, but we can do anything. We can do new construction, but that's my sweet spot. That's what I have the most experience in. And truly, I'm passionate about it because I get to help clients open their dream store, right? They've already gone through the process of getting qualified, finding the right perfect space for their new business, and I get to bring it to life. And that's really fun. And I truly love being a woman GC and breaking barriers in that industry because they're always shocked when they see a female on a job site running the job site. And I want to break barriers for the next generation of women who want to know that's a career option. Growing up, I had no idea that was a career option. I had no idea commercial real estate was. I did because of my mom. But if in school, they don't teach you can be a commercial real estate broker, they don't teach you can be a real estate developer, and they definitely don't teach you, hey, all the ladies in the room, you can be a general contractor. So we're working on really great projects, and I've cultivated my relationships from the past that we are building for a lot of different national brands. Right now, we are building our 4th Wolfgang Bakery and Grooming store for that brand because we've done such a good job on several other locations. But guess what? All 4 of those locations were owned by different franchisees, so we've had to re-interview every single time.
So tell me, as I know, and I think a lot of people probably know, the male-dominated development and construction industry, what are some of the crazy things that have, as you've walked onto a site or been on a site and people have had to realize that you were in charge?
Yeah, it's funny. The number one comment I usually get is, oh, wow, it's so nice your dad named the company after you. No, I named the company after myself. My dad's a CPA. He's never worked in construction. And that's the one I get the most. Or that's great. You're Build It Brit. You're the owner of the company. But who's the GC? Who's the qualifier? It's me right here standing in front of you. I'm the one that's worked on construction sites for many years and earned every portion of my license. And so it's shocking, but the more we do it and the more our trucks are driving around, yes, they have my face all over them. That's how we change the industry, is showing women, showing people that women are actually great in construction and development because our communication style, we're very detail oriented and we know how to get the job done effectively. When a problem comes up, we don't sit there and wait to see how it's we fix it immediately. We get things going, we keep on schedule. And so that's what I want to show the world, is how good women are at this, and not just good, but how we excel at it.
Yeah, and I think that you in particular with your background, the couple of different things that make you uniquely qualified are having been in all of those, you said, to take it really through the full life cycle. And then also all of the institutional mindset you had about following up, doing the reporting. That really speaks to, even if you're doing it on marketing or investor reporting, that's project management type stuff where
Yes.
you have a schedule that you have to deliver. And on investor reporting, like, there are compliance requirements. And on the GC side, you're having to stick to a schedule and deliver for either for yourself and your investors or for the clients that you're working with.
Absolutely. Having that institutional background, I'm so grateful for it every day. It's made me a better business person. It's made me think outside the box, and it helps me truly become an honest GC, developer, broker, because we're not adding a lot of fluff, right? I understand from an investor mindset, here's what they need to look at to make this successful. And I'm very grateful for the education and background I've received to become the person I am today.